Meghan Markle's bitter war of words with the Daily Mail newspaper worsens, and the establishment plot to bring Harry and Meghan back to the UK. I've got the inside story. But first, another devastating attack by Thomas Markle Jr. on his sister Meghan Markle, who in two brand new videos on his excellent and compelling YouTube channel describes the Duchess as, and I quote, a stain on humanity, adding that he hopes that she chokes on some rescue chicken. Yikes! He also said that he wants to bury her in the sewer. An incredibly harsh set of remarks about his younger sister. Thomas Markle Jr. is angry and he's focused on revenge. Plus, he's got some shocking and very personal advice for Prince Harry, which brings into question his masculinity. Now, Thomas Markle Jr. is emotional because he's had to witness his father fighting for his life in a Philippines hospital in the intensive care unit, witnessing his father losing one of his legs. So Thomas Markle is emotional. He's angry because he thinks that his sister should be there. She should be helping with the medical bills. She should be holding her father's hand and should be helping the family. Now, Thomas Jr. claims that Meghan has ignored their father for 7 years. He said she's had every opportunity to make amends and has not. And he mocks her claim of being an orphan, calling it a lie in order to erase her real family. Because let's not forget, it's not just Thomas Markle Sr. who has been cruelly cut off by Meghan Markle. It's Samantha as well, her half-sister, her older half-sister, and Thomas Jr. She's cancelled all of them. He says that his father gave her everything and worked tirelessly for her and was thrown away, and I quote, like dog dirt on a shoe. And of course, Thomas Markle Jr. is angry because it's $750,000 from his successful lighting career in Hollywood that Thomas Markle Sr. invested in Meghan. He goes on to say, and a lot of what he says in these videos are unbroadcastable on a family show, but he describes her as an SHIT stain on humanity, a SHIT stain on humanity. He calls her a disgrace. He said she's clueless about everything except money. Well, he's so right about that because, of course, Meghan is money obsessed. She's the ultimate gold digger. But what does she know about cookery? Nothing. What does she know about running a business? Nothing. What does she know about being a TV host or a podcast host? Nothing. Everything she touches turns to mud. But what she's really good at is sniffing around, finding rich people and climbing the greasy pole. He said that Meghan, he spoke directly to Meghan at one point. I'm, by the way, going to give you all the details of Thomas's incredible channel. You've got to subscribe and become a member. So here's the thing. He said that he spoke directly to Meghan. He said, you don't have any friends, Meghan, because you are fake as fake can get. He said, you're the fakest person I've ever known. Now, that is a devastating thing for someone to say about their own half-sibling. And that is the kind of ire, that is the kind of rage that Meghan inspires, because she's a cruel person, a vicious, cruel narcissist. And you see, you could argue that there's some historic beef between Meghan and her father, right? God knows what goes on in family life. But she can't have a beef with Thomas Markle Sr. and Thomas Markle Jr. and Samantha Markle Jr. and Piers Morgan and Trevor Engelson, her ex-husband, and Jessica Mulrooney, her ex-best friend. She can't have beef with all those people, can she? No. This is how Meghan operates. She is someone that just goes out to destroy. So he says, you're the fakest person I've ever known. And then he goes on to say, you are a disgrace to my family name, and it sucks that you're my half-sister. This is a guy now who's in such a state of grief about his family situation, about the behavior of his half-sister, that he actually wants to disown her from the family. And this is out of character from someone like Thomas Markle Jr., who I have been watching for years in interviews on TV, on the radio, podcasts, right? He's a nice guy. Thomas Markle Jr. is a regular guy. He's worked for a living, had normal jobs all his life. He's there for his family. He's just a good guy. You just know that. I've been around for a while. I'm in the throes of middle age and I'm a good judge of character. And Big Thomas Markle is a good guy. Proof is in the pudding. Where does he live? Is he living at large in California, USA? Is he in the Bahamas? Is he in the south of France? No, he's in the blinking Philippines. Supporting his dad, right? In incredible humid temperatures. In a country which is very nice with great people, of course. And we've got viewers in the Philippines, and may I say hello to you. But it's a country where a third of the population live below the poverty line. There are gangs, there is peril there, there is some very cheap accommodation. It's not an easy place to live. And he's there to support his dad. It sucks that you're my half sister. Has anyone ever said that about a sibling before? It's incredibly rare. But that is Meghan, right? She's rare in her cruelty. So he's not happy. He's tired. He's bitter. His contempt is total, undiluted, and volcanic. In this video, he also reveals why he started his excellent YouTube channel. He said the channel was created to lift his father's spirits after his stroke. It was there to put a smile on his father's face, to make him laugh and give him something to be joyful about. He says, but now the sole purpose of this channel, wait for it. Yikes! The sole purpose of this channel, says Thomas, is to bury Meghan in the sewer under as much shit as possible. That's right. He wants to bury Meghan in the sewer under as much shit as possible. This is not subtle. This is a declaration of war. And let me tell you that Thomas Markle Jr. is a very articulate guy. I think he's a good-looking guy as well. He's a fine figure of a man. And he's a decent communicator. And he's got a big following on his YouTube channel. And I think he's going to be a thorn in Meghan's side. I think he's going to do her colossal damage. Now, I want to help Thomas Markle Jr. because in a recent video, he said that there are YouTubers that take clips from his channel and put it on their channel. They get clicks and they're using his material for their own gain. Now, I will grant you that this is a massive story for the Mark Dolan show, and I'm very grateful to Thomas Markle Jr. for this rich material. Okay, but in the previous video, when I did a special video about Thomas's remarks about Meghan Markle, and I said go and subscribe to his channel, and here's how you can watch the video. So let me do that again now. So if you want to subscribe, and you must subscribe to Thomas Markle Jr.'s channel, you go to YouTube and you search Thomas Markle Jr., right? JR at the end, Thomas Markle Jr. And it's going to come up. You'll get the little logo. You click on that. You'll find his channel. And there'll be the videos, which are there. But you need to go over to live, right? The section is you've got videos and playlists and stuff. Go to live. And that's where you will find these two devastating latest videos. And please subscribe and become a member of Thomas Markle Jr.'s channel, because this is his living, okay? This is going to pay medical bills. It's going to pay for the accommodation for him and his father, because they got no money, because Thomas Markle Sr. spent all of it on my husband. Didn't you know I'm not Meghan Markle anymore? I'm Meghan Sussex. So there you go. That is at the end of this video. Please run over to Thomas Markle Jr.'s channel and do me a personal favor. And please subscribe. He's got a GoFundMe. If you've got the cash, support that too. We love Thomas Markle Jr. And on the Mark Dolan show, we are shoulder to shoulder with that man. And we wish him well. And what's interesting is there's another way that I want to help Thomas Markle Jr. And that is by publicizing what he's up to. Okay, and driving traffic to his channel, because what he wants to do is call out his sister, her hypocrisy, her cruelty, and he wants to shame her. And I don't think that's a problem, because all he's going to do, he's not going to say anything that's not true. He's just going to draw attention to her double standards of hosting shows like With Love Meghan, even though she's shown no love to her father. And on that series on Netflix, she talks about Christmas specials and the importance of bringing family together. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Bringing family together. This woman has no shame, as her father lays stricken in a Philippines hospital. So that's what we're going to do. And I will tell you that I think Thomas Markle Jr. is going to make life very difficult for Meghan. And I think she's picked the wrong enemy. What I will say, and I don't want to second guess Thomas, but maybe he could respond to this. But I think that if Meghan apologized, jumped on a plane, wrote a big fat check to support the family and to pay Thomas's medical bills and have him secure for the rest of his life, I suspect that Thomas Markle Jr. would forgive. But what I also think is I suspect he thinks I'm not holding my breath. And why would he, based upon her behavior? I actually did a podcast earlier today for the Daily Express newspaper, which is a very fine newspaper. And I was asked, you know, is anything going to change? Thomas is in hospital and Meghan's in America. Is anything going to change? I said, no, unless Meghan has a full personality transplant, it ain't going to happen, right? It ain't gonna be easy from now on. It's not going to happen because Meghan's Meghan. And the other thing is that if your father dying in hospital is not a wake-up call, well, then nothing is. The man that gave you life and brought you into the world and spent $750,000 on your education, if he is not enough and his plight is not enough to wake you up, well, there's nothing worse than your father battling for his life in hospital and losing a leg, is there? Does the poor man need to be, I don't know what? Does he need to be a blazing inferno of a human being? Does he need to be on fire for her to go, oh dear, my father appears to be on fire. I better go to Philippines now. You know my rule. They've got to be on fire. They've got to be ablaze. They must be a smoldering inferno of human, and then I'll jump on a plane, first class, in a private jet, even though I'm worried about global warming, but I still travel everywhere in a private jet, but worried about global warming with a mansion, an enormous estate with 16 bathrooms. So he goes on to say, Thomas Markle, he mocks the fact that she gallivants around the world pretending to be somebody that she's not. He also said only Meghan likes Meghan, which is devastating. It's true. Who are her friends? If you watch that TV show, those people are on the payroll, like her makeup artist, Daniel Martin, who she regularly attacks and recently told him off for posting the wrong photos on Instagram. He almost got cancelled. That close, baby. It's true. Who are Meghan Markle's friends? They come and go because when they're no longer useful, they're out. He calls her self-obsessed, fake, fame-hungry, and morally empty. He also describes her as colostomy bag Meghan. Now, that's pretty powerful imagery. If you don't know if you're watching, by the way, the show is so international. And we've got viewers in Canada, the United States, New Zealand, Australia, the United Kingdom, the Republic of Ireland. But I've had so many viewers messaging me from Brazil, from Holland. We've got so many Dutch viewers. Israel, Norway, Sweden. I love Scandinavia. Beautiful. So, and I know I'll forget a gazillion other countries, but we're so global and I love every single one of you. Every single one of you. We've got so many viewers in France. Comment ça va? Est-ce que tu aimes l'eau? C'est très joli, c'est la fontaine. C'est un petit peu fort. L'eau, c'est froid. Il fait froid aujourd'hui, j'ai froid maintenant. Est-ce que le porte-manteau, c'est trop petit pour moi, eh? Okay, if you have too much of an international language, a couple of you may tune out. We also have a lot of viewers in Austria. And I'm so excited because Austria is a beautiful country with mountains, great cities, amazing people, tremendous literature and art. I love Austria, right? Austria and Germany. The good news is that Austria and Germany are both German-speaking countries, which is why for my Austrian viewers and my German viewers, I can quite simply say, Auf die Treppe schnell! And both the Austrians and the Germans will understand, although the dialect is a little bit different in Austria, and it might be Auf die Treppe schnell! Auf die Treppe schnell! Right, a little bit different. Auf die Treppe schnell! Auf die Treppe schnell! Okay, so if you are an international audience, because this is a global show that belongs to everyone, then I should explain what colostomy bag Meghan means. A colostomy bag is a medical device which is there to replace a missing bowel. Okay, now the bowel is the part of your body. It's welcome to the Dr. Dolan hour. Hello, I'm Dr. Dolan and I'm here to examine you. Please remove your clothes. Fear not, I am fully qualified. I'll show you my qualifications later. Welcome to the medical hour. Right, no, so the colostomy bag. So what happens is that, unfortunately, sometimes people have a problem with their bowel, right? The bowel is the organ which removes waste product from the body, the poo-poo, right? The bowel produces the poo-poo that comes out of you. And what's significant is that if you have the bowel removed because of an illness, or if it stops working, then the doctors will create a bypass, right? There's a pipe in there, and that pipe is connected to a bag that hangs on the side of your body. It's called a colostomy bag, right? And it's a tough thing for someone to go through because it's, you know, you're self-conscious about it. You have this bag which is carrying the waste product, and it could happen to any of us. There, but for the grace of God, go I. And what that means is, you know, I'm talking about other people, but it could be me, it could be you, if we were unlucky. Anyway, so a colostomy bag is a bag full of poo hanging off the side of your belt. And that is how Thomas has described Meghan Markle as colostomy bag Meghan, which is pretty wild. He also said she should be doing commercials for colon guards. This is a health product which is focused on the colon, another internal organ. And the colon guard commercials is a product where you have to basically go to the bathroom in a box. And he said that that's what she should be the face of. So he's not a fan. I think reading between the lines, right between the eyes, 'cause I live and breathe Philadelphia freedom. From the day that I was born, I wear the flag. Philadelphia freedom. Right, okay. So he said that. He also said, I'm afraid that I shouldn't be laughing because it's very harsh, but I was amused. He said that she should go choke on some rescue chicken. I think he's referring to the fact that she's got these chickens at the Montecito mansion, which are rescue chickens that he wants her to choke on. Last time he said he hoped she chokes on a bagel. Can I just say, can I protect Thomas and say he's joking, okay? He's basically trolling his sister. It's a comedy roast. He's not a fan, obviously he's angry, but he's speaking in very euphemistic terms. And we would never on this show advocate that anybody should come unstuck like that. We don't want Meghan to choke on anything other than her own words when she says sorry. He also said, go choke on something in a yacht, which was an adult reference to allegations about her lifestyle as a party girl on yachts before she met Harry. I will go no further than that. But these insults show a man who's unrestrained, incandescent with rage, and now has no skin in the game. He doesn't care. All bets are off. And he's going to take Meghan down. He's going to take her down to Chinatown. He said that Harry spends more time at the Coast Village Inn than at home with Meghan, which I'm sure is true, eating burgers and mainlining Budweiser, which is the king of beers. We know it's the king of beers because it says king of beers on every bottle and on every can. He claims that Thomas was ripped off, poorly advised, and is now paying everything out of his own pocket. He says that everything that he earns, Thomas Markle Jr., will now go towards his father's care. And by the way, where is the thought for Thomas Jr.'s future, right? Because Thomas Jr. is so focused on the welfare of his father. Who's looking out for him and his well-being and his finances and his dreams and his ambitions? Because his life is on hold now, taking care of his father. And the reason why is because Meghan's done nothing. It's my view, and you've agreed with me in the comments, that what Meghan needs to do is three things: apologize, jump on a flight straight away to the Philippines, and write $1 million, a check for $1 million to the family. I would give it to Thomas Markle Jr. to take care of everything, and he could look after his dad. I think $1 million, and then have a plan for her dad to come back to the United States and go to a really, really good hospital like the Cedars Sinai, which is the greatest hospital in the world. America has the best doctors. So that's what should happen. $1 million, apology, plan to get him back to America, and get yourself over to the Philippines. Now, the other thing that he says in the follow-up video is he thanks everyone for their support, because we do love the family, and we're sending our love to his dad, who's not out of the woods yet. But a few of you have been asking for an update, and Thomas Markle Jr. has said that actually every day is getting better. He appreciates the support, and it does seem like Thomas is on the mend because he's got a big, strong heart, that guy. He said, I'm haggard, I'm exhausted, but every day is getting better. You can see he's exhausted. The tiredness is etched in his face. And he singles out, in the most recent video, he singles out Prince Harry. And he says, Harry, you spineless, freaking coward, is what he says. He says, you need to get your nutsack back. That's right. A nutsack is a reference to his reproductive organs. That's another episode of Dr. Dolan. Good evening and welcome to Dr. Dolan. Ask Dr. Dolan, please undress and I shall address your medical ailments presently. Anyhow, so he says to Harry, get your nutsack back. Get it back. Get it out of Meghan's purse, because that's where your nutsack is in Meghan's purse. I can't disagree. What have I said? We've been saying it, haven't we, for months now, which is that she owns Harry. He's not a man anymore. He's the help. He's her assistant. He's the bag carrier. He's the spare in his own marriage, and she's got his nuts in her purse. He also says he needs to grow, Harry. Harry needs to grow a new set of gonads. He said there's no recovery in this relationship with Meghan, and there's no recovery in Meghan's relationship with Harry. What's very interesting is that he says to Harry, you have to ask yourself every single day, it's got to hit home, right? It must hit home what you've got yourself into. So this is Thomas Markle Jr. looking out for Harry and saying, come on, big guy, wake up. Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. That's what you got to do. Open your eyes and wake up and realize what a mistake you've made. Fair play to Thomas Jr. because Thomas Jr. warned Harry about marrying Meghan before the wedding. So if only he'd listened to his future brother-in-law, he wouldn't be in this situation. So Thomas Jr. is staying in a hotel near the hospital because their accommodation is not close enough to the hospital. By the way, this hospital that Meghan can't find. Like, apparently she's been on the phone non-stop. Hi, it's Meghan Markle. Do you have my father? I'm calling every hospital in the whole of the Philippines. Lies. So he's staying there and we wish him well. He's concerned. His dad is seriously ill. His dad's alone except for him. Meghan hasn't lifted a finger. This is a father who did so much for Meghan, and what does she get in return? Diddly squat, nothing, nada, nichts. Auf die Treppe schnell. Auf die Treppe schnell. So, head over at the end of this video to Thomas Markle Jr. on YouTube and subscribe. Now, Meghan Markle has accused the Daily Mail of crossing clear ethical boundaries after the newspaper reported extensively from inside the hospital room of her estranged father, Thomas Markle. Now, the allegation comes after he publicly claimed that he had not received any messages from his daughter following his latest medical emergency. I believe him. Do you not believe Thomas Markle? Why would he lie about it? I believe in love. It's all we got. No, he wouldn't lie. Over the weekend, Thomas Markle gave an interview to Caroline Graham, who's the US editor of the Mail on Sunday, in which he implored Meghan to visit him. Speaking from the Philippines, where he's undergone major surgery, he begged for her to reach out. In response, the Duchess of Sussex has pushed back firmly, with her team insisting that she's been trying to contact him. She's actually fighting with Thomas Markle Sr. She's fighting with a man who's lying in hospital with one leg left, battling for his life. She's indulging in a war of words with a man that faces daily mortal peril at the age of 81. And she's decided, rather than jump on a plane to the Philippines or call him, she's going to conduct a public relations war with him through her staff at the Meghan Inc. Corporation, whatever the heck that is, the Ponzi scheme, which is less of a viable investment than Bernard Madoff, frankly, with whom your money would be far safer. So she's angry about the circumstances in which the Mail on Sunday gathered their material. So a spokesperson for Meghan said, given that a Daily Mail reporter has remained at her father's bedside throughout, broadcasting each interaction and breaching clear ethical boundaries. It's been exceedingly difficult for the Duchess to contact her father privately despite her efforts over the past several days. Are you telling me that if Meghan tried to contact Thomas, he wouldn't be available to her? He's going on the radio and on the TV and in the newspaper saying, I want to speak to her. This is gaslighting. She thinks we're all fools. And by the way, how is it that the Mail on Sunday are breaching ethical boundaries by providing a voice to a lonely, troubled old man? They're not. They're doing a great service because they are helping tell the world that this guy needs help and he needs his daughter and he's flat broke and he's fighting for his life. What does Meghan know about ethical boundaries? It's a woman that accused the royal family of racism, which is a lie. And if they weren't royals, they would have sued. This is a woman that spins endless yarns about her fake poverty-stricken childhood and all the prejudice she faced, even though Thomas Markle Sr. said there was no issue around her skin colour for the entirety of her life. So they go, the Mail on Sunday have breached ethical boundaries. It's been exceedingly difficult for the Duchess to contact her father privately, despite efforts over the past several days. It's confusing. If a message is confusing, then it's a lie. If you don't understand that word salad, it's because it's obfuscation and waffle and hot air. They added, with the support of reliable and trusted contacts, her correspondence is now safely in his hands. Oh, thank goodness he's in possession of one of Meghan's weird calligraphy letters. Dear Father, I've turned you into an imaginary monster in my mind because you posed for a photograph for a journalist 7 years ago and did an interview with a newspaper where my name came up. And to me, that is a worse crime than triple murder, than the worst homicide ever, is to mention my name to a journalist and pose for a photograph at some point 7 years ago. My husband. Now, Daily Mail Group newspapers, who are not messing around because they are the elite. They own the Daily Mail, which is the most read English language newspaper in the world. Auf die Treppe schnell! The Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday, right? They know their onions and they have rejected any suggestion of improper conduct. They've said that Thomas Markle had personally invited Caroline Graham, the journalist who interviewed him, to be with him in the Philippines. Don't forget, this got nothing to do with the Mail or the Mail on Sunday, because it was Thomas Markle Sr., who does, by the way, have a working phone with the same number that Meghan still got, though she can't get hold of him apparently. And it was Thomas Markle Sr. who messaged Caroline Graham saying, I'm about to have my leg amputated. And he said, come and see me in the Philippines. What does she do? She's not even his daughter. She gets on a plane from Los Angeles, exactly where Meghan would be flying out of, and goes to see him and is there day and night, getting no sleep. And I've got no doubt that Thomas Markle Jr. is grateful that Caroline Graham has come along and been a far better daughter than Meghan could ever have been. The Daily Mail spokesperson said when Thomas Markle was taken ill in the Philippines, he contacted Caroline Graham and asked her to travel from LA to be with him. As well as being a journalist, Caroline has been friends with Mr. Markle since 2018. I should Coco. That's a long, long time. 2018, that's 7 years. And Thomas Markle Sr. has been a father figure to Caroline. This goes beyond journalism and having the hot scoop, right? You don't spend 7 years in a friendship with someone because they might give you a newspaper scoop at some point further down the line. You don't sit there in a intensive care unit for 3 days drinking coffee and not getting any sleep, praying that this guy can survive and that the wound is managed to heal from his amputated leg. And so the Mail have said that Caroline's been with Mr. Markle in hospital every day, providing him with care and support. They're very close. She described Thomas Markle Sr. as a father figure and helped her with the grief of a couple of family members that she's been through over the years. The Daily Mail went on to say, as soon as Mr. Markle gave consent for his contact details, the name of his hospital and his room number to be provided to his daughter's spokesman, Caroline shared them. So another lie. The Sussexes said that they were reaching out to the Daily Mail for details of where Thomas was staying, which hospital, and we couldn't, the Daily Mail didn't cooperate. Are you telling me that if Meghan Markle calls the Daily Mail, they're not going to take the call? The editor is not going to be like, it's Meghan Markle on line 7, tell her I'm having lunch. I don't think so. It's a journalist. They will answer the phone to Meghan Markle. So they're very clear that they offered to help, that they gave the Sussexes all the information they needed. The Mail concluded it's entirely untrue that each interaction has been broadcast, and the suggestion that Caroline has breached ethical boundaries is demonstrably false and vehemently denied. Behind the scenes, Meghan's team is said to have spent several difficult days attempting to locate her father or find a secure method of getting a private message through to him, a challenge that they say has been complicated by the presence of a reporter at his bedside. It's all excuses, isn't it? This dispute adds a new layer of tension ahead of Prince Harry's forthcoming legal action against the publisher of the Daily Mail in a process that he calls unlawful information gathering. And that case is another hot mess that could cost Harry millions. And he's already lost money to the Mail, $1.5 million for a failed lawsuit that he had to cancel a year and a half ago. What a hot mess. Listen, folks, it's been great to chat. Today is Thursday. There will be an official scheduled video on Sunday, but I want you to keep an eye out and please like, subscribe and hit the notification emergency bell, because there could be surprise videos in the next day or two. So I need you to keep an eagle eye out, because there's a lot going on and this story is moving fast. Great to chat. Thank you so much. Listen, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you very soon, maybe sooner rather than later. Auf die Treppe schnell! Auf die Treppe schnell!